Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Make sure it's working. Yeah, right, we're good. Alright, so I mean I've not done any analysis today, as you can see, and it's still quite early in the session, so yeah, let's just do that. Also, I've got a bit of a headache and I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, so just bear with me if I go silent or anything. I was editing a video earlier and I don't know, maybe the concentration, not too sure. Anyway, daily, let's go on the daily. So we have a daily gap right here. And buy side liquidity. This is where I wanted yesterday, but instead we chopped around. So I don't like when we get an expansion before market open. Really don't. Anyway, maybe we get a reaction off of this. We'll see. Do we have any news today? Yeah, well, we had news already. Employment. Fine, it's fine. H4. We do have SMT at these lows. Why does it just make it so difficult just to... That's an annoying thing on planet Earth. SMT. Rid of those. No more SMT at the highs. Okay. We've just swept this buy side here. I do still want this. It's going to be my draw. So hopefully we can get some sort of retracement. This all looks balanced here. I don't think there's any reason. Sorry about the coughing. I don't think there's any reason why price would want to come down here, considering it is all balanced. We have an SMT at these lows. We do have an SMT. Let me just turn my indicators back on so it's a little bit easier for us to get some direction here. We have an M15 inversion. Uh, 8:30 manipulated, so 9:30 should expand, hopefully. If we get some sort of retracement. I don't see any reason why price would want to go lower, so I don't really think we need to measure any range lower than we currently are. What time did this expansion happen? 9. So annoying. This happened yesterday. Expansion like half an hour before market open, and then price just chopped the whole day. I really hope that doesn't happen again. This move was a lot bigger though. This is half the size, so I think we should be good. Okay. Yeah, I mean a retracement here would be great, and then we could potentially get a nice long. Hello, I'm Cam. Good to see you in here again, man. Still a bit under the weather, a little bit of a headache, so I apologise if I go quiet or anything. So I mean, we've just expanded pre-market again, like we did yesterday. Yesterday we expanded pre-market and then we just chopped for the whole session, so I didn't get a single trade. You see this happened here about 9 a.m. and then market open, we just chopped. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again today, considering we've just expanded market open. But hey, no man, no problem, man. It's yeah, man. We're all busy, so there's no obligation for you to be in here. It's just nice to have you in here, I guess. Anyway, like I was saying, 8:30 open right here. We manipulated lower. NQ swept this low right here. ES didn't, so we have SMT at the lows. I guess that fueled the move higher, and then obviously my drawn liquidity is this buy side, and then we have a daily gap above. So yeah, that's my drawn liquidity. So I'm hoping that we get some sort of retracement here into discount coming into market open. Oh, oops. We also have a big M5 gap. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to get an M15 FEG form. We've got 10 minutes here to the 15-minute candle closes, which will be at market open. We'll get a little bit of manipulation into the 15-minute FEG, and then we could potentially get a nice long setup from there. But I'm leaving that open. I don't know for sure, but that's my thought process. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping happens anyway, man. The shame about yesterday. I mean, you literally didn't miss much at all. Price was crap. I sat through the whole session. I even stayed on for like an extra half an hour or so just to see if anything would happen. And I mean, I'll go back and show you again just to show you what I mean. But it was brutal. Just sat there. This is price yesterday from market open right here. Just absolute cheeks, basically. Nothing to take along off of. There was a 30-second long here, but we didn't sweep this low, and there was sell side liquidity just below with this gap. So, like, why would you take a long when there's liquidity like right there, and then there's obviously this gap here as well, left unfilled. So I don't know. It wasn't a good long. I mean, you would have been choppy anyway. You've been holding pretty much all day for the draw on liquidity, which was AM high right here. You'd have been holding all day until like what, 250. So I would have cut the trade early. There's no chance I'd be holding that all day. Not my kind of trade. Yeah. So we just wait here. We've got 9 minutes until market open. So just be patient. See if we get something clean. You know me, if it's not clean, I don't take it. So did you manage to look at the charts yesterday at all, or were you just too busy with work? Also, I've got a video in the works. I know you said you were interested the other day. I've got the script ready and like an outline for the B-roll and stuff I'm going to use. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a long form video on YouTube. I'm going to try and make it about 20 minutes long, but it might run longer. I'm going to go over my entire entry model. I've got 2 entry models. One that I'll use for like a clean liquidity sweep like this, for example. We just come down, sweep the low, and then get an entry. And then I've also got a continuation entry model, which is for when we get a higher time frame, A+. You can then enter on a low time frame. So I'm going to explain all of that. I'm going to explain all of the risk management, the risk management I use, basically, to catch super high RR with a higher win rate. So I know I'm gonna go over everything in that video, so I hope that you will find it useful. I could try and give you a little sneak peek here if you'll let me. I've got my streaming set to the chart only, so let me just have a quick look. See if I can get it on here. Yeah, okay. Might be able to do it. Okay. So I've got... Oh wait, this is for a different one, is it? Wait, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong script. Do I even have it saved? Yes, yes I do. All right. I've got so many bloody tabs open. There we are. Okay, let me see if I can, like... Why is it gone so bright? Oh, it's because the screen's white. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, it's going to go bright for a second, but it's just because I've got the document open, and I'll just quickly go over it with you, just to show you what sort of thing I'm going to be putting in here. Is there a way that I can, like, move this over? And then I'll do it on here. There we are. So, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's been put through ChatGPT because it has. I just wrote the script and then it's like, ChatGPT, you know what I mean? Make it cleaner, set it out equally. Basically just make it so I can go off, like read it and then like adapt it to myself when I'm recording it. But regardless, I've got the different sections here. It's going to have basically everything, everything that you need to trade my model here. There's the setup, the second type of setup here with the confirmation. Why you avoid, why I avoid trades if they're not clear, if they're missing entry criteria. The execution, my break-even rules, risk management rules as well, and then I'll show you like chart examples. Yeah, that's it basically. It's going to be good. I'm going to add some more to it. That's basically just a mock-up. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, and then once I'm feeling 100%, I'm going to start recording it. And I'll have to like piece by piece. I'm only used to editing short form videos from like YouTube Shorts and stuff, which I do have another one of those in the works as well, on accumulation and manipulation and distribution. I'm going to go through like timings as well. So, for example, like the Judas swing, I'll go over that. I'll go over like market phases and stuff. Because I always use accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. I always use it, especially at like 9:30 and 8:30. I'll actually time whether we got manipulation or not at 8:30, and if we did, then I'll expect a 9:30 expansion like today. And if we didn't, then I'll expect a 9:30 manipulation. So I'll go over that in some more detail in a shorter video that I'm going to post before the long form video. But the content's slowing down, so not very well. But I do post like other stuff on my TikTok if you want to, if you have TikTok and you're interested, just like other carousels and easier to post content where I don't have to sit down and record a script. And then obviously I post the same videos from YouTube Shorts on there too. But yeah, if you're interested, it's on there too. I've got big plans. I'm just feeling under the weather, which is inconveniencing me. I'm getting like side fucked by like 3 different viruses. I had the flu, got over the flu, and I had a cold, and now I've got some sort of cough, and it's just pain in my ass, dude. I'm telling you. Absolute pain in my ass. Sweet, man. Sweet. There's a couple of videos on there that you might like. I posted one recently. It was about my different entry models. It's basically just the criteria that I use to trade. For some reason, they don't get many views. I don't know why. People scroll instantly when they see source. They just not interested in reading it. So, well, it's on there for people that do want to read it, I guess, like yourself. So, it is on there. And I post on there a lot more than I do on YouTube Shorts. So, I'm just trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok so I can like dual stream on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. Obviously, it's difficult to reach 1,000 followers on TikTok organically. Just by posting videos, people use tricks like liking comments and spam following people and stuff. But if you look on my TikTok, I'm following no one. I'm trying to do it all just organic. So yeah, man, for sure. I hope so. I'm going to keep going until I do. I've seen some success. I posted a random video of a trade like a couple of days ago. I saw a post on there. It was like, tell me you took this right. And it was just like some dude's trade, but it was a loser. And I commented, I was like, actually, no, like you went the wrong way. I took a trade in the opposite direction and it was a win. But then like that kind of made me think, okay, well, if I post a trade and just add the caption, you took this right, like it'll get the same views. And it like got 5,000 views for some reason. Yet videos that are actually good that I post on there that have actually got good information in them get barely any, like 200 views. It makes no sense to me. I guess it's people just doom scrolling though, isn't it? And they're not fussed about learning. They're just on there to fill their dopamine cravings. That's what I'm trying to, with like the short form videos, I try and make it as edity as possible with like fast captions, etc. But yeah. I'm just going to switch over to M&Q on my second monitor here in case we get anything, because I don't mind this. An EQ tap plus IFEG would be nice. This is the 1 minute here. There's an FVG here. Like I say, my draw is higher, so I'll stop yapping now the market's open and actually look for a trade. Okay, so it looks like we're getting some sort of manipulation here at market open, which I did call. Now, whether it just blasts through and goes super low or it actually reverses is a different question. Let's check that 15-minute FVG. Okay, so here's the 15-minute. Ditch the 5 because 15-minute holds more weight. See if we get a reaction here of this 15-minute FVG. Why is that candle gone? It's disappeared. The heck? Let me refresh. Strange. Why has the candle disappeared? Yo, you saw that, right? Candle's just disappeared. It was there a second ago. Why has it disappeared? That's really strange. I haven't seen that before. Where's the bloody candle gone? Okay, well, it looks like we're going to be on the 30-second then, I guess. So weird. I've never seen that happen before. Is it on M&Q? Is it disappeared on M&Q too? Oh no, it's on there on M&Q. Alright, so it looks like we're going to head lower here. We'll see if we do get the reaction off this lower retracement area. If we got this, this is a good setup here. If we do still have S&T. ES is not going as low as NQ is right now. The reason why I wouldn't really care for this low being taken is this entire range below is balanced. There is some stack liquidity, maybe if you wanted to take a London low, but the entire range below is stacked. So if we got this IFEG here, I would take this. No closure yet. See, I can't tell if there's a 1 minute gap above because I'll have to go off MNQ. There is a 1 minute gap right here. So I'd preferably have to wait for the 1 minute to close if we were gonna take this. Yeah, I mean, there was no setup to even try and catch this short here. There was nothing. This is invalid because we swept the next intermediate term low. So, and then this was pre-market. So there's not even a setup here to try and take this short, even if I wanted to. But we've just swept London low. Let me see if there's any gaps here that could help us meet our A+ criteria. No, absolutely nothing. This is all balanced. There is a lot of stat liquidity though. This is called a low resistance liquidity run. If we do decide to go and run it, it's quite steep though. I like these to typically be lower than a 45-degree angle. This is quite steep for a low resistance liquidity run, but we can see. We'll see what price wants to do here. So what happened here is my draw from yesterday got tapped. But it looks like this was manipulation here. I really thought this dip here at 830 was manipulation because we got SMT. But clearly not. The market moves in weird ways sometimes. Where you can't like take a trade out of anticipation, you have to actually wait. Make sure that all of the entry criteria is tapped, basically. There's nothing really here now. There's no singular clean IFEG. It's all just one big imbalance. You'd have to wait for, yeah. I think what will happen is we should come back down, maybe sweep some more liquidity, possibly get a singular IFEG up, or we retrace, and then we sort of go lower. I'm not too sure really. I'll just have to wait and see what forms. Big wick. Really big wick. If it stays that way. Draw a little range here. If we tap EQ and get a reaction off it. See, there's an M1, singular M1, but it's blocked by the M2. If you look at the M2, there's a big gap here too. And it has to be a clean, a singular IFEG. Just because taking the clean singular IFEG increases the win rate so much. Even if this is like looks good, it could still be a good setup, but it just typically increases my win rate so much if I just get it on all the time frames. Because I mean, it could easily react off of this. You could close the M1 and then react off the M2, and then you might not even hit break even, you know? Like, where is the break even point for this trade? All the way up here. The next intermediate term high is break even, you know? Now this is a good short. This is a good short if we get a solid closure here. I will say. I don't know where we would target, so we'd have to find a target lower, but I'm going to take this, I think. I'm just going to enter light because Yeah, we'll just enter with like 1 micro. It's not one to go heavy on. It's not perfect, but this is like a continuation trade. I'll just wait here a second just to see if we close above this or not. If we get another closure below this one, then I'll take it. Just waiting here. Sometimes when I get a setup like this, I'll stall just to see. But I'm going to enter this with just one micro. Okay. I'm in here. My break even is going to be this 30-second IFEG here. Sorry, FEG. This is a super low risk trade just because it's scratching on an A+. Let's see if we get a closure above this gap here. I've got my stop at the swing high here. This is literally a $40 risk trade just because it's kind of ropey. It does scrape the criteria for an A+ continuation trade though. If we do end up getting break even, I'll then look for a bigger draw on liquidity. But I'm just watching to see if I need to manually close at the minute. If we get a closure above this and it's a manual close, and then the hard stop is sort of if we just launch. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out here, so I took a $54 loss on that one, so I'm not mad about it. It was a clean continuation. We hit EQ, we took the draw on liquidity from yesterday, and we had a big bearish manipulation. Sorry, a big bullish manipulation here, so I was expecting some sort of expansion lower. Potentially for a run of these low resistance liquidity run lows here, but like I say, 1 micro because it wasn't, you know, it was a lower risk trade that you take. You wouldn't take this high. Something that you go higher risk on is like a super clean singular inversion. But this did meet the criteria for an A+, and it was a clean IFEG, so. Good loss, I'd say. Good loss. This is just a statistic, you know. The continuation trades have a little bit lower of a win rate than taking a standalone IFEG, but it's still above 80%. So, and obviously the risk to reward that you can catch is you know, way better. So the thing is, this one's a little bit better than the other one because we did sweep the intermediate term high. Obviously, we did just get stopped out. So again, I think this is another micro play because the criteria is a little bit. Sorry, the criteria have been met a little bit better. So I'm going to take this as a micro play. I think I'm going to wait here just for a second. Just to see how we sort of, you know, react off this volume imbalance here. Well, I'm going to wait here a second. I don't really want to get caught in chop, so I'm just waiting here. Okay. Well, now the trade's invalid, so... Oh well. The trade's invalid now, so it doesn't matter. The break even would have been here, but yeah. So when we're getting price action like this, I always like to be a little bit a little bit extra cautious. I like to downsize risk. I like to wait for an extra candle just to make sure that we are going to react off of like a volume imbalance or the IFEG itself after we take a loss. It just helps me be a little bit more sure that we aren't just ranging. But yeah, this was a break even short. We'll see. We'll take read it. We'll see if our bias and previous analysis of this one was right. See if our reasoning for the short was right. Let's find the low resistance liquidity lows right here. Okay, so your first TP would be here. This would be TP1. Obviously, your stop is already at break even. Your entry is there. So let's see if you'd be stopped at break even if I took this. It looks like it would be. Yeah, okay, so this would be a break-even trade. Now, the fact that this is not, like, you know, flying down straight away indicates that we might be chopping here, that we might enter some sort of accumulation phase. And so what I'll do is I'll literally just sit here and wait. There's no point in me trying to take something in chop. Just clear up the chart here a little bit. So the reason why I didn't mind targeting lower was because we swept a very minor buy side here, sell side in this whole range of low resistance liquidity. And obviously we also have a large unfilled 50-minute gap, as well as I think there's a daily gap over here that we didn't tap. I think I removed it earlier, but I know there's something lower, so this could be the start of a price move lower. So let me just head on to the higher time frame. So there's nothing here stopping price from going lower. There's nothing really that price should be reacting off of. There's no inefficiencies or anything. It's all balanced price. So we either run the whole thing, or price doesn't need to run the whole thing because it's balanced and we go higher. But obviously we've looked down into it, so I would expect the whole thing to be ran. But we'll see. We do have an M15 inversion here. It's another reason why this is a continuation model and not a one of the precision model trades, because we already had the higher time frame IFEG. Although the setup on the M15 was invalid, which is why you then drop down to a lower time frame. So yeah, I mean, this is the trade that I took, and we ended up taking a loss on this for about $54, which isn't really that much, considering that we took about, I think we took 320 on Monday, something along those lines, and yesterday was a no trade day, so I'll just keep this here for reference, just because obviously it was a trade that I took and it's a statistic. So I'm going to just quickly screenshot it and add it to my notes. I just took a screenshot of it, so save it for future reference. Okay, so it looks like this little 30-second here is holding price. See if we violate it. what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep up our levels there. So just for like, you know, reference on where the trade would have been, because I'll fully journal the trade afterwards. Add it to my little notebook. Do we have SMT? We do have SMT at the lows. Weird SMT because let me delete this one. Because ES didn't take London lows. There's SMT there, and then there's also SMT here. So the only problem is now that there's not really any A plus long, because we've got no inefficiencies to the left. I'll show you all in the 5 minute. We've got no inefficiencies here on the left that we are rejecting off of. This is all just a low resistance liquidity run. So initially, I was looking for a long off of EQ of this range plus this M15 gap, because it's the only possible, it was the only possible imbalance that we could have rejected off of. Go higher towards my draw, which is this daily gap plus buy side. But obviously, we then inverse this, so it then made me believe that we were going to go short. We were going to continue lower with aggression, considering that there was no inefficiencies in the way. And yeah, my bias. Currently, I'm not too sure, honestly. I'm thinking short, like I say, just because we've got no inefficiencies. There is no inefficiencies in this leg. This is all a low resistance liquidity run. So I'm thinking short, because there's technically no A plus setup here for me to even take if I wanted to go long. Apart from if we came and swept this low and tapped into this M15 gap here. So my bias is short for now. We have a big bearish displacement candle as well, plus a big M15 inversion and an M5 gap here. We've reacted off of EQ, so this, sorry, excuse me. This was an A plus short, but now price is just consolidating inside the zone. So we'll just wait here, and maybe we come back and sweep this high again, or something. Give us a little bit more clarity. So the only way that I could really go long here is if we left an inefficiency and then revisited it. There's no way that I could long out of this range other than coming and tapping this. So I'm not even looking for a long here. There's no long that could be had. It has to be a short or a long off of this. So it is what it is. Yeah, I was initially short here. Then I called out this one, but I didn't take it because I wanted to make sure that we were going to react off this volume imbalance. It was then invalid because we swept this low. And then we would have been stopped at break even anyway. So the reason why there is no entry here is because if you look, you have to merge the volume imbalance and the IFEG. So because price didn't close below the volume imbalance as well, you have to then wait for the next candle, because the volume imbalance could have been reacted off of. You still in the short? Oh, nice, man. Nice. Where did you enter short? Make sure you're careful with your break even here. Just because we're chopping, there's not really any clear direction. Definitely take some partials at this low though. $2602. Oh, okay, you got a decent entry. Nice. Jealous, honestly, I'm jealous. No trade yesterday. It looks like one small loss today. It's been a brutal couple of days. No, it's better than taking some fat losses in a row, though. Did you short based on what I said, or your own sort of intuition? Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Make sure you go break even, as well, just because of how unpredictable prices being. There's a lot of chop, so. Make sure that this one doesn't end up a loss. All right. I mean, I don't recommend doing that. Although I do appreciate it. If you're gonna copy what I say and my trades, I'd recommend sticking to the model, just because the model that I trade, it does protect me from a lot of losses, and obviously the break even as well. Like, this could have easily just carried on going, you know. Don't recommend it, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Maybe you get TP1 here. Just don't let this one turn into a loss. That's my advice. So if you're at 602, your break even should be like here right now, really. There's not really any reason for price to come back up unless it wants to run higher. So yeah, and it looks like we might be engineering highs to sweep again. So this is a signature of chop, but I'm not trying to scare you out of the trade. Like, just go break even, basically. I wouldn't close or anything. Just go break even. I've got this level marked out for reference of your break even point. Good, good. It just stops you from taking unnecessary losses, especially in conditions like this. These aren't good trading conditions. In good trading conditions, this loss that I took, this would have been a winner. There's no reason why this trade would have lost. We would have carried on momentum downwards and just powered through all the way to the low of the, the low resistance liquidity run here. This would have been a good high RR trade. A 1 to 5. This is typically the risk to reward that I trade, so I'd have to lose 5 of these trades in a row. With normal risk that I take, I usually risk about $250 a trade, and I only risked 50 on this one because I could, see the price conditions weren't going to be that great, given the timing of the manipulation here. Strange timing, by the way. 2 manipulation legs pre-market. Weird. Doesn't really happen. So you've missed break even by 1 tick at the minute. There you are. You've been break even now. That's good though, because these are stacked highs here. This price could easily just come and run these. Like, don't think about it as it was a loss, because it wasn't. You didn't miss out on a trade. You protected yourself in bad price conditions. You didn't miss out on anything. Yeah, exactly. This was a clean one. This was also clean, obviously, but this was clean too, I guess. If not a little bit cleaner, because we did sweep an extra high here. But break even, obviously. And the thing is, the break even, it stops me from having to hold through this. I don't want to hold through this. I want the trade that, tanks, basically. Goes pretty much straight to my take profit. I mean, who doesn't want that? And to be honest, I'd much rather get stopped at break even then hold for like 15 minutes of stress, of chop, like just missing my take profit, just missing my break even, and then like just mess me about and maybe take profit one and then come and stop my break even. It's just, I like a nice clean fast trade, and is what it is. So let's see if hypothetical TP1 here hits. Hypothetical TP1, since it's not a live trade. Alright, so there's a hypothetical TP1. Oh yeah, exactly, man. I don't know what strategy you use, but I definitely recommend incorporating some sort of break-even criteria into it. I hate that, man. I hate when you're in profit and then it comes and stops me out. It's the worst. So that's why I added the break-even method, and it saves me way more times than it doesn't. So yeah, man, you should definitely be incorporating some sort of break-even method into your strategy. I remember from one of your comments on my videos that you trade volume profile. What sort of you use auction market theory, and you're trading the video. Okay, so you trade in stocks. That's fair. I used to trade stocks. I used to trade like support and resistance, and then buy options based on like support and resistance. I don't know. It sounds stupid because it probably was, but yeah, what you're doing sounds like a much better way to trade stocks. It is what it is, I guess. Is there any way that you could incorporate a break-even method into volume profile? When the volume goes low, break-even, I guess. I don't really know. I've never really used volume profile, so. Yeah, good. You'll see a lot less of your losses, a lot less of your profits flow into loss if you do that. You might not want to adapt my trading style, but if there's one thing you take from me, it's incorporate some sort of break-even method. It really is a game changer. Like this, it would have been a dodgy take profit one. You know, maybe we come all the way down, but what am I going to be holding for like an hour? And this would have been a 1 to 6, sorry, a 1 to 1.6. So still a positive RR, just not as high as I'd usually want it, really. We can remove this now. Like I say, there's no A plus here. There's an A. This is technically an A. We have a SMT and liquidity sweep. If we take this gap here, maybe it's a gap to take 1 micro, but I don't want anyone copying me on this one if I do end up taking it, just because it's risky, you know. It's not clean, and actually, I mean, it's a clean singular effigy, but it's not. It's an A setup. It's nothing special here, but there is a good target lower, so you're kind of trading against the draw on liquidity if we got this. So that's why you'd enter that super low. You would not want to put much risk on that at all. Yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna copy me, wait for me to say, like, you know, this is a really good setup. I'm gonna go heavier on this one, and then you can maybe copy me. I still don't recommend it, but if you're gonna do it that way, because I've got an eval and I've got a funded account, and I'll take riskier trades on the eval, and then I'll wait to take, like, you know, higher probability trades on the funded. So yeah, man, absolutely. Let's see if this draw liquidity gets hit, maybe. So we've just come into the 10 o'clock macro. 10 a.m. now. During this time, you'll typically see some sort of liquidity sweep and reaction off an FVG, an imbalance. Not always, but sometimes something happens in this macro here. So let's see if anything happens here. There is still a big. Wait, is there? Oh wait, no, there's no SMT here anymore. ES has swept this low. Okay, so hang on, this isn't even an A setup. This is not even an A setup. I repeat, do not take this under any circumstances. This is not even an A setup. You'll be trading against the draw on liquidity, and there's no SMT there anymore. So yeah, there's none. So don't take that. It's not good. It'll almost definitely be a loss. Now you watch, this will just close above and just blast, and then I'll be completely wrong. I really hope the rest of December isn't like this, you know? I know December price action's historically not great, but I mean, we're so early in December, could it really just start getting bad already? I'll tell you the worst months for price action for me, July and August. Those months were basically just untradeable. So bad. Oh, okay, man. No, I get that. Yeah, so I can't really teach you ICT. You can kind of learn visually, I guess, from either just watching me or my videos. But if you actually want to learn ICT, if the volume profile isn't working for you, then you should go on to ICT and watch his 2022 mentorship. But if the volume profile is working fine, I wouldn't bother. You know, stick with what you've got, because ICT is a learning curve and it takes a while. It took me about a year and a half to finally start seeing profits. And then obviously this model that I've got right now is basically just a year of refining. So I had like an outline of this model, like this shell of it, a year ago, and then over a year I've like adapted it, incorporated the break-even model, the take profits, the risk management, the criteria, added in new criteria and removed bad criteria. So I mean, the important thing is to make it. Oh yeah, no, good. I'm glad it works. I really am. Yeah, just stick with that. Honestly, I wouldn't even really bother learning ICT if it works for you. You know, I just found ICT to make the most logical sense. ICT's thesis is basically the market's run by an algorithm, and when you start studying its concepts, you can kind of see it, because it does leave footprints. You can see this gap here. This is an FVG, and it's clearly holding price. You can see price is reacting off this FVG very clearly, and then obviously the midpoint is called consequent encroachment, and we had a nearly perfect closure here at the consequent encroachment. But that's why IFVGs work, because if you have the correct context, it means that this imbalance means nothing if we close above it with momentum. Price is completely disrespected this zone, which would typically hold price down, which is a bullish signature, basically. The fact that this isn't a clean closure above indicates to me that this is not a good IFVG, and then obviously our context is bad as well, because our draw is all the way down here at the bottom of this low resistance liquidity run with a big higher time frame gap below. So we have bad context, we have bad price action, and we have bad closure. So you notice this closure here, you've got like a tick. Yeah, basically a tick above the IFVG, right? And then obviously you've got wicks here, which means the price is already rejecting off this. This area is basically indicating that it's already balanced and price doesn't need to come higher. We rebalanced EQ here. We tapped into the 15-minute FVG. Did we? Oh no, we didn't. So we could possibly get a pullback here actually. Something to actually look at. We might be able to get a short setup off of that. We mark it. We mark that 15-minute FVG. Yeah, I mean, if we came in back and tapped this M15 FVG and got a clean short, I'd take it, absolutely. Yeah, but basically what I'm saying is this isn't a good long. This is a bad long for all of the wrong reasons, you know. By like clean, I mean candle 1, candle 2, candle 3 with singular clean IFVG right here. No wicks, no noise, nothing like that. And if you notice, this would have been a loss because you would have had to close the trade as soon as we close back through the IFVG. It could carry on higher, but it doesn't matter. Regardless, it's completely irrelevant. It still would have been a loss, and that's to protect you from then taking double this down to the swing low. Yeah, basically. IVN. Okay. Yeah, I mean, people get clowned for saying I trade FVGs. It's because it's like the most basic ICT concept there is, and you can't really make a profitable entry model just based on FVGs because they're so prevalent. Like, look how many there are. They're everywhere. That's why IFVGs work, because IFVGs, while they're still common, they're a lot less common than FVGs. And with the right context, they really are a killer compared to anything else really that ICT teaches. People make entry models out of any of his concepts. They'll use breaker blocks, OBs, volume imbalances, or actually anything. I mean, people's models are all different, I guess. I know there's a lot of people that do trade IFVGs though, but I think that my model is a unique take on risk management and the IFVG itself. Okay, so I've just dropped down to the 30-second here, just for a little bit more, zoom in a little bit, see what this is actually doing, because obviously this is still bad price action, but yeah, I mean, so we have an M1 here that was disrespected, already closed through. You have a high sweep. I'm not taking this, by the way, I'm just explaining why this is an okay setup for a tape read. You have a sweep here of the high. You've tapped into this imbalance, this FVG here, and you've got a closure here below the IFVG. Now, why this is a bad trade is because you have a wick basically creating noise in the IFVG, as well as here. You have this FVG that got closed above and then closed back below, which means price is indecisive. And we have a lot of chop. You know, we're still in a range. Just not a great trade. Technically, it's an A. Technically, it's a mechanical A trade. But it's not clean enough for me to take just because of the chop. You know, when chop happens, we mostly just come back here, and if there's IFVGs that have already been disrespected in a range, it means that price is just ranging and accumulating buy stops and sell stops. So, like you see right here, we have this FVG that was closed above and then closed back below, which means that it's completely disregarded this, you know. This means nothing for price at this point. All it wants to do is accumulate highs and lows. We have an IFVG here. Yes, it's invalid because we tapped the high, but then this was closed back below. basically meaning this whole range here is completely invalid, just because we're accumulating. We're accumulating right here. So I've got a video coming out soon on YouTube Shorts about accumulation and manipulation and distribution. So I'll quickly just explain a little bit. So originally, I thought that this here was the manipulation, but actually, this here is the manipulation. So we have accumulation here. I'll do it from London low, and I'll move it over so you can see what I mean. I'll go on the M5 too. There we are. There's the M5. So from London low to London high, we can see this range here. This is the accumulation, and now we have a run higher to sweep these highs, which is our manipulation, and now we have a move lower, which is the distribution from those highs, and also this previous draw on liquidity that was swept to. If we got a clean setup out of this, and I hadn't have been bullish because I was bullish here, I was looking for a reaction here, so I was actually disregarding shorts, which I don't know. It is what it is, you know. I guess it's a mistake, but not really at the same time, because there wasn't really a short setup there. But yeah, it's like looking at this in hindsight, it's a clear AMD. Accumulation, manipulation. I'll draw it out again just so it's a little bit clearer. Manipulation here. I know it just looks like boxes on the screen because I've got no different colors of boxes on there. Just and then we have distribution here from this high. And like I say, I've got a full short coming out about this one, where I explain it, and I also explain the timings. So obviously I thought 8:30 had manipulated. It didn't. It was just part of the same accumulation. And then we had the 9 o'clock manipulation, and then 9:30 distribution, which is kind of off. You don't really see 9 o'clock distribution, but we've seen it 2 days in a row where I haven't seen it for months. So, sorry, 9 o'clock manipulation. It typically happens at 8:30 or 9:30. So maybe that's why it threw me off a little bit, because of the timing. But it is what it is. You know, it's not really too much of a big deal. This was pretty bad price action anyway, so I'm not really mad about missing anything in this or not being able to catch a trade. I'm going to give this maybe until 11. 11 New York, and another 45 minutes or so. See if we can't get a retracement, sweep these stacked highs here. So low resistance liquidity run. These get ran sometimes, they don't. If they do, it's an A plus liquidity. So if we have the full high here taken, plus maybe this one as well, it will be you know, it'll be a great liquidity pool for us to potentially look for a short off of, especially because we have this M15 and a good lower draw on liquidity, which is here, which is the low resistance liquidity run low. And then obviously we have a big unfilled M15 FEG here. So what I'll do is I'll quickly use the path tool to describe what I'm saying. Shrink this a little bit. So this is what I'm kind of hoping for. Something like this. Maybe we pull back a little bit here, take these highs, tap into the consequent encroachment of this 15-minute, give a nice clean IFEG, and then we head lower to the draw. That would be pretty perfect, honestly. Nice clean IFEG here. That would be, yeah. However, you know, we're never that lucky, especially in December, apparently. Yeah, by the way, if you remember what I said about how this 30-second wasn't a good trade because we were just staying in the range and disregarding IFEGs, you can see right here, it's exactly what it did. Well, Well, it's dead. Well, it's done. I don't know how to use the King's English, apparently. So yeah, maybe we get our you know, what we're hoping for here. Maybe my prayers will be answered. I'm just gonna put my bloody mouse on charge. For some reason I always charge overnight. I don't know why it dies, dude. It's annoying. It's like watching paint dry. Notice how it's still in that range though. Until the range high or the range low is taken, we can't really be sure which direction the price wants to go. Like I say, if we're in the accumulation phase, we need some sort of manipulation. Whether that be with an SMT or not, it doesn't really matter. It's like I say, ideally I want it lower, so a manipulation into the premium of this range would be definitely ideal. What are we looking like here? Just so slow. It's so slow to try and justify something. You know, I can't. I'm trying to like justify in my head like, oh, maybe if we came up here and stuff, but it's just, yeah, it is what it is. The reason why I move the the retracement tool here down to this high is because I just realized, I don't know why I didn't realize it sooner, but I just realized that obviously we've already rebalanced the 50% here of this range, so price doesn't technically need to come all the way up here. It's just where the M15 unfilled gap sits nicely. You know, I mean, it is technically in the premium of this one here, but the consequent encroachment is completely above this high, so nothing really lines up. It's all kind of skew. It's not. There's nothing really clean about what's going on here. You know, that's why I'm waiting for something clean. I don't want to be in something unclean. These two setups were both the cleanest thing that we've seen all day, to be honest. Obviously, this one was a loss, and then this one got stopped to break even. So, and then obviously, when that happens, this is what you can expect afterwards. You see, that's the joys of, you know, the break even and stuff. But what closing the trade, if you get the closure above the IFEG does, is if we so hang on, wait, let me just do this. So for example, this candle, it didn't go straight up to the high, it actually closed at the midpoint here. I'll just drag it out just so you can see a little bit clearer. Say it closed like right here. You know, we closed the trade, and then the trade would most likely then run to the other, like to the full stop. So you've cut out, you know, 11 points of stop loss to close the trade when it closes above the IFEG. The IFEG has already been disrespected, so it's either going to chop or it's going to stop you out. There's no point in holding it and praying. You know, the IFEG is completely invalid. There's no logical sense behind holding the trade after it's been closed through. So that's, I mean, it is what it is. This one just ended up going straight to the hard stop, but how many points away is a draw? 118 points, 119-ish from the low. It's doable. I mean, it's definitely doable if we get a clean setup, but in charge. Here's some like music or something. It's a shame that YouTube don't let you put music on. I'll get instantly copyrighted. I have to listen to crappy non-copyright music. Some of them intro songs from like back in the day. There's again, there's still nothing really here. You can try and justify. You could try and justify this one, but you've not. There's no clean closure. You know, it closed inside, and you're not reacting off a higher time frame imbalance here. You've just swept some minor liquidity. So this isn't a good IVG. Plus, it's not clean. It's a bit too far left. You know, typically 6 candles or less. This is probably about 10. I'm not counting it, but it's probably about 10. All right. Maybe our bias was right all along. Price just didn't want to give us a setup. So this is still my draw. Hypothetical draw, of course, because I'm in no live trade. I got stopped out right here. But let's just do hypothetically. Let's just say we were still in this trade. Obviously, I'll put the stop here, so it's obvious that we have been stopped out. So we'll just do it as a tape read. We'll see if we end up down here. See if it would have hit, because this would have been a 1 to 5R if we didn't get stopped out. I'll just move it to the side out of the way, so it's not bothering us. It's not in our way or anything. We'll just keep it there for reference, because I like to just keep track of any trade that I took in my journal. There's still no clean delivery anywhere. There's no clean delivery at all. It does look bearish. It does look very bearish, but nothing clean about this. So. Taking my mouse off charge, and it's like flashing at me, it's dying. Alright, maybe we get our short setup a little bit late in the session, and we're in between macros right now. But if we do get a valid liquidity sweep, and then we come and tap back into this M15, yeah. I've already mentioned this, but there is no long here. There is no higher time frame gap to the left that we could be reacting off of. So there's no valid long. And the draw on liquidity is quite good. The lower the low resistance liquidity run. Obviously, we've seen the AMD cycle too, so we should still be in distribution phase. Well, this is fun. This is why I love trading. Really fills me with joy. And YouTube forces me to sit here in dead silence. No tunes. Anyone got anything interesting to say in the chat? Happy to have a conversation or answer any questions or anything. I'm kind of losing hope for this, to be honest. Been forced to make my own music with my fingers tapping on the desk. There's just nothing going on here. You know what? Is there any point in waiting till 11? Or am I just torturing myself? How's the volume looking? I'll take any insight. Hypothetical A setup here, just not very good context. On the M2. You know, a lot of chop, lower drawn liquidity, so not good context. And no higher time frame gap reaction. And we're hoping to go short off of this, so. I know how we can make this this better. 1 second time frame. Let's go. Now this is cinema. This is absolute cinema right now. That's what I like to see. Damn. It's like 3,000 A+ setups on the 1 second time frame. I might have to switch to trading the 1 second. Clean 1 second short setup here. I don't know if we're reacting off a gap, but it's a 1 second, so probably are. I'm straight, another clean 1 second long. Oof. Reaction off the 1 second FVG. Oh no, would have been a loss. Oh wait, no. Oh, maybe. No, no loss. Break even. Wow. Like entering the quantum realm of trading. The 1 second time frame. Like I've shrunk. About the 5 second. It was a 5 second look like. Oh god. Oh no, that's even worse. Oh, actually, wait, it's not that bad. Some big moves here on the 5 second. There's some scalper like taking 3,000 positions every minute, trying to trade the 5 second time frame. That's quite funny. That is quite funny. Okay, so right, we've just tapped the M50 on the 5 second time frame. Let's see if we get an A+. I'll go back to the 30 second to see if we get anything here. Let's get rid of that and that. Oh shit, what did I just get rid of? Got rid of a bloody indicator. I just delete price. Is that a thing? Just remove the price action. Go in blind. There's probably worse ways to make money. Slot machines. Slot machines are a good example. Rigged to lose. I do enjoy a slot machine though. I can't lie. Mainly play it for the mainly if I go and play a slot machine, it'll be for the game though. You know. Like what's that one slot machine? The one with the piggies and the wolf, and he gets like the mansions and stuff. Huff and Puff, I think it's called. I went to Las Vegas a couple of years ago, and then I go on that slot machine. It was quite fun. Didn't make any money, but spun like 200 quid in the slot machine. I hit the bonus and made 50 quid back from it. Oh well. Well, this is painful. This is mentally tolling, I will say. Our low resistance liquidity run has been ran. We have a high inside of an M15 gap. We're reacting off of nothing. There is a 3 drives lower here. I know it looks like a fucking trend. Technically it is a trend, but I've rehabilitated from that. I don't see trends anymore. We have a 3 drives pattern here. 3 lower lows towards a draw in liquidity. Basically indicates that price has failed. But it's still not enough for me to override the fact that I need a higher time frame imbalance to be able to justify taking a long position. Now, this, it counts. We have an M2 FEG here, so if we got a little bit of a dig deeper into this with a 30-second confirmation, it would count, because at least then we have an imbalance stacked on top of the 3 drives. But we didn't get anything like that. I can't take this M2 raw because we don't have the higher time frame imbalance. If it was like an M5 as well, I'm sure we would have got some sort of confirmation, but there was nothing there. So it is what it is. Maybe we get something for this high here inside of this M15. If we don't, I'm just gonna close the charts because it's giving me a bloody headache. I go back to the 1 second time frame. Oh damn! I didn't realize that I had the thing over there the whole time. Oh, sorry about that. You should have told me in the chat. I didn't realize. I've just moved it back over. I think it was like all the way over here. Sorry guys. This is probably the best place for it. Right here. So sorry about that. So ES took this run. Sorry, NQ took this random low in this leg. ES didn't. There is an SMT. It's really strange how prices reacting to these levels. The past couple of days, we just missed this low. We didn't run the resistance liquidity run. We had all of these engineered highs here, and then we just swept this and then tanked, and now we're just consolidating. It doesn't. It's weird how price is moving. It's like it's been tampered with, you know. Weird behavior, I will say. Weird behavior indeed. No, it looks like we're going to get a 5-minute form here. Maybe we can get some sort of reaction off of that, since we have had the 3 drives plus SMT, and then that would be the higher time frame imbalance that I'm missing. Now maybe we can target the high or something like we did yesterday. I don't know, we've got 23 seconds here until the 5-minute closure, so. Okay, so we did have that 5-minute closure. If we come down and tap it. Dude. EQ is quite far. If it does react off of this and give an A+ long, then I wouldn't hesitate just because of how far EQ is, but like I say, it'd have to be clean. I might pass away from old age, honestly. Go back to the 5-second time frame. Why not? At least then we might actually see something. I'm not actually looking for a trade off the 5-second time frame, by the way. I'm just doing it to like stimulate my brain. I genuinely feel like I'm going to pass away right now. Boredom. Which is a good thing, I guess. Like, trading's supposed to be boring, it's not supposed to be exciting, but this is the worst kind when there's literally nothing happening. So, what I've done here, we have a 5-second FUG, which is the missing piece to our A+ puzzle, I guess. We have the 3 drives here, which means the prices failed to go lower, which justifies not running the entire low resistance liquidity run. You have SMT as a random low in the leg. We have an M5 gap. I'm thinking maybe we get an A+ off of this. Maybe. But we'll see. We will see. If this wants to rebalance EQ of this entire range, it's got to do it pretty quick, or we're going to end up with an M5 inversion. Which won't be valid because... Actually, wait, will it? We've not swept buy-side liquidity, so no, it won't be valid. Missing criteria. I mean, it's swept like minor, but this is an external range high. Well, not really, but I mean, in terms of this range here, this is an external range high. In terms of this entire range, it's internal. Let's see what this 5 minute FVG does here. There's no SMT at the highs. So this isn't a good short, really. The thing is, right now, I'm very neutral. I'm very dual biased. Like, I don't know where price wants to go. It's the exact same scenario as yesterday. I really do not know. So it's difficult for me to try and navigate in these conditions. It's best just to not take anything. That's like, or at least wait for it to be pristine. You know, there's no point in trying to take a subpar conditions in subpar context. You know. We have a gap. M1. M2. Big M2 here. We closed below this M5 yet? We did. We closed below the M5, so we have an M5 inversion. We now have PDRAs on both sides of this move and a dual bias. So I am genuinely lost here. There is no reason for me to really try and continue trading. Although we are coming up to the 10 a.m. macro, which it's only 10 minutes away, and we have been waiting for so long for 11 a.m. So I might just wait just to see what it does. But I really just I don't know what's going on here. It's not good. There's no clear direction of price. I don't know whether it wants to go long or short. I don't know whether it wants to reach my original buy side draw or whether it wants to continue. I think it's unlikely, considering we do have the 3 drives and the SMT, but obviously it is a low resistance liquidity run and price does like to run those. But we'll see. We'll see. We sweep that low, or is it equal lows? No, we did. We did sweep those lows. If you took this M2 gap here, you'd have got stopped at break even. Just quite funny, I guess, considering you'd have been holding it for like an hour. How long? Nowhere near an hour, like half an hour, but still. Holding a trade for half an hour and just get stopped at break even is brutal. Eight minutes here until 11, so torch only has to last another 8 minutes. What did lunch do yesterday? Because I mean, we had a very similar scenario yesterday. Nothing. Pretty much the same. Only yesterday's like, even though it was still crap, it's like it's still cleaner than today. Today's just awful. Really bad. At least yesterday had the clean up trend. This is just booty cheeks. I'd like to say like the M1 here is like valid, like all the way up here, but it's still not good. It's not clean. I'd just be trying to force a trade at that point. So I'll endure another 6 minutes of dating the worst price action on planet Earth I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen price this bad. It's just absolutely untradeable. Really is untradeable. Should have just carried on editing my video. Who's still watching? Curious. Is it iTunes or MCAM? What the hell? I didn't expect it to be that big. That's what this price action is. Nick. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it here. This session's been torture. My brain, to be honest. I feel like I'm about to fall asleep or like pass away or something. Yeah, it's been awful. I can't lie. This price action is dookie. We had an M5 FEG here, sorry, IFEG, but there was nothing new. It wasn't a good setup. No liquidity sweep. We tapped into the M15, but we didn't even sweep the high, and there's no SMT or anything. We formed a 3-drive plan here with an SMT at the lows, so we had a completely neutral bias, dual bias actually, and there was no confirmation entry on the lower time frame. And obviously we have this M2 gap here just below, so it is what it is. Enjoyed that trade I shouldn't have made. Yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't a bad setup. If you took this, it was technically a good setup, but it was just a break even. And then obviously price action's been horrible today, like really, really bad. I've not seen price action this bad for ages. So yeah, is what it is. Anyway, appreciate you watching, and hopefully we can catch some good price action tomorrow with a nice winning trade. That sounds amazing. So catch you later, guys.